This light is stunning. Yes, he is in a reindeer jumper, and I know it's not Christmas, but his other jumper is disgusting in the wash, so today he's a reindeer because he's absolutely freezing. As you can probably tell by my red nose and mum face and all my layers and everything. Still not quite enough layers. At least it's dry. Oh. Is that better? I did bring my watercolouring stuff and drawing stuff, but it is 1 to 2 degrees this morning, so I'm not entirely sure it's a good idea to sit down and sit still for too long. The birds are so loud this morning. And the light is just stunning. It's the first time that I'm going to try watercolouring, if I can feel my fingers, in the forest. I've done it only by the sea before, which was hard. But now coming in the forest and thinking, maybe I could paint that, or maybe I could paint that. There's just so much and so much detail. But I'm going to give it a go, why not? That's the whole point, just giving it a go. Yeah, I find watercolours totally different to any style that I've drawn or tried before, especially when it comes to my tattoo style, which is very black and white lines, the complete opposite of watercolour. So it's quite hard for me to wrap my head around, but that's why I enjoy it, because it's so different to what I do every day. That's not the reason that I decided to film today. I wanted to share with you that I think I have had the happiest winter that I've ever had, I think. Perhaps the happiest February I've ever had. Usually, by the time it gets to February, since I can remember, I've always struggled with whatever situation I've been in, whether that was snowboarding, doing seasons, when I was away from home. I think by February, I kind of missed my family, missed home. It was half term, so it was busy in France. And then since snowboarding, I struggle with winters since snowboarding, just full stop. But it's always February. Not sure why. I think it's because it's cold. It's usually very wet. And we've just been inside for so long and it just feels like the winter's never ending. Do you want your treat so you can stop being a mischief? Hey? Do you want to see what's in here? Yeah, you're going to sit like a good boy. Good. There you go. Now you can chill out and have that. Yeah, good boy. Oh, where was I? February. I think maybe you've just got through January, which feels like a super long month. Although for me, it's flown by January because I was actually really busy at work. So now we're in February and yeah, we're almost done with February too. And I put this down to one simple thing that I started in perhaps October. And that was that I decided I wanted to have my coffee outside every day during winter. And I have done it. I think there's been a handful of times where I haven't, for whatever reason. It's harder when I don't have Roko, because when I come out into the woods anyway, I can just bring a flask or make my own coffee when I come out here, which is lush. I bring my little stool for tiny, tiny little people with little legs, or my sit mat, and I have my flask, and I just sit down with Roko and just take it all in. I think there's many benefits, and that what I've felt, and that's why I felt the happiest that I've ever felt this February, due to the fact that I'm having my coffee outside, but all the benefits that brings with it. The fact that I'm moving my body, I'm going outside, I'm coming into nature, getting the sunlight in my eyes. All of those things have a massive impact on your health and well-being. And I've covered this before in my benefits of nature, forest bathing videos. All of those are linked below. The benefits of just being in the forest or by the sea or something. There's so many benefits for helping with anxiety, depression, your immune system, just making you feel calmer. Like I feel so much calmer and grounded. And I think if you can feel grounded at any point of the day, that's a good thing, because I'm not sure how grounded I am the rest of the time. My friend also got me this extremely cute mug, and it's got loads of different mushrooms around the outside because he knows how obsessed I am with mushrooms. And when it's particularly cold, I'd rather drink out of this mug because you can feel the warmth through it, whereas these, because they're like thermal insulated, when you pour the coffee in, it's still cold around the outside. So, oh, my hands to warm up. So I've got my mushroom mug. Thank you, James. You are the best. It doesn't have to be coffee. If you're not a big coffee drinker, you can bring your tea out. You could bring some broth, some bone broth, whatever you fancy. Or it could just be a cup of water, but it's not going to warm you up when it's 1 degree. I think it's because I'm actually just sat down and I'm quiet, taking it all in, being mindful. I can really hear so many noises, especially the birds. And I've got that app, I think it's called Merlin app. So now I can identify the birds and what they are. Oh, yeah, I am 40 soon, guys, so birdwatcher's life. My new life, from snowboarding to sitting in the woods, listening to what birds are singing. I mean, I feel a lot more relaxed than when I was snowboarding. Less prone to injuries out here. This is a far easier way for me to be mindful. I do meditate, but I kind of do see it as a little bit of a chore, and that my mind is kind of thinking about what I need to do that day. So I find it really hard. I'm thinking about my coffee in the woods, and this is like my meditation and mindfulness session. I just find it so calming being out here. And I have even done it in the rain, as much as I really, really dislike the rain. If you're in that mindset and that habit, like I'd been doing the coffee drinking, because it didn't rain for like a month or something, but I was already in that habit of going. So it just seemed like not really a big thing. And I have to take him out anyway. So yeah, I had all my waterproof clothes on, and then I just had to get changed before going to work. But again, it was so quiet when it rained and peaceful, the pitter-patter. I do love the sound of rain. It's just getting wet and going out in it, not so much. But I didn't mind it. I feel like it's been quite a dry winter. Or I've timed it really well in that I've gone out on my walk before it's rained and then it's rained the rest of the day. And for me, I think once I researched with the forest bathing and the negative atmospheric ions, NAIs, something that nature gives off, you have to watch my Why is Nature Good For You video, and I explain it all there. But once you know this stuff, I think for me, it really enhances your experience doing something. Like cold water therapy and the cold and hot exposure and things like that. When you just like, oh yeah, well that's kind of good for you. But when you actually find out what it does, the trees emit something, phytoncides, which help with our immune system. And once you know that, I come out here and I'm just like, I really trying to breathe it in, because I know, like, yes, I want this for my immune system. Rather than just coming for a walk before. Like, oh, this is nice. Knowledge is power. Can't believe that I'm nearly 40 and I'm only just kind of working this stuff out. Bit of a shame, but at least I've realised now, it's never too late to realise that knowing stuff is actually quite good. Quite beneficial to us. Uh-oh, he's finished his treat now. You're going to go mad again? Let's try a bit of painting. Actually, something that I really wanted to try, which I don't think I've done since I was on a school trip somewhere, is rub a page on some bark. And I've got charcoals. I'm not sure that's going to work, but I'm going to try that. And Roko's going to eat them. Just want to play and create. Oh, my charcoal broke. That is absolutely not what I thought was going to happen. Yeah, it looks like bark. No, it just looks like black stuff. Oh, wow. That was worth a try. Well, there you go. Art. That's the thing, like, creating, making art, it's not all going to look like amazing, especially if I'm doing it. But the whole point is like coming out and just giving it a go. Touching a tree. Probably benefits in that. So let's try a bit of watercolour. What am I actually going to draw? I'm going to attempt a tree. Loads of trees. Let's just try a tree, shall we? That's a shame your treat didn't last any longer, isn't it, mate? Because now you're going to want to go on my lap. So we have water. We have tissue. We have paints. We have a dog. Don't drink that water. That's my water. You got your own. And then I've got like just a pencil case with my brushes, pencils, pens, because I don't necessarily like to just use watercolour. Give it all a go, you know? I'm going to change the point of view so you can see what I'm actually doing. No! Try painting with a dog. Great. So what I've been told before is to basically cover the page with water. You know, after all, it is watercolour. Roko's drinking the watercolour water. Stop it. You've got your own over there. And I'm in the woods, so it's mainly greens, browns, yellowy tones. So I get the big brush and get all the water on, and then I've got like smaller brushes that I can get the actual detail on. I did get some new paint from Hobbycraft. I was just using Martyr's paint. I thought I'd get my own. It just seems a bit shit compared to the Dale Rowney stuff that I had. This just had more colours. I quite liked having like a black. These just seem too, not quite potent enough. I don't know if that makes sense. Like it's too hard to really get dark colour. Like it's all a bit grey, a bit too muted. And that's what I'm drawing. Although I could just draw him. Never do him justice. Start to kind of mark out the main features. Obviously I'm not going to do every tree that's here because that is a lot of trees. But these just seem a little bit like glittery. I don't know if it's actually makeup or if it's watercolour. If I was to do this with, I don't know, a tattoo or something, it gets so much more detail. Whereas just these are just like blobs because the paint, the brush is so big, and obviously using the colours and everything, it's just such a different technique to what I'm used to. But also I know that through just practicing my art and working and stuff, you don't have to get it to look exactly like what's in front of you, as long as it looks like a tree, which I think it does. It's tree shaped, it's green, it's got the leaves and stuff. I just really like things looking exactly how they're meant to, which is, yeah, this is just like a title challenge. Because I'm like, that is definitely not how it looks in front of me. Now I'm starting to not feel my hands. The big reveal. That is the painting. And that is what it was of. Which I've had a lovely time. I don't know if you can see it in the light, but the paint's like glittery. I don't like that at all. I'm gonna have to go back. I mean, I kind of like it, but it's not. Oh yeah, can you see it in the light? So I'm not sure you can see the glitter effect. And then this is the painting that I did the other day at the Purbex. It's just way more vibrant. The colours, I much prefer the colours here than today. I can't get that depth. So I'm gonna have to nick Marta's watercolour again. As much as it doesn't really matter what paints you have and what you use, obviously it's going to affect what you create. And yeah, I feel like I created a tree today, but I think it would look better if I could get some more depth, like darkness in the colours, and then that really contrasts with the light and the white background of the paper. But if it's all just a bit wishy-washy, I don't like wishy-washy. I want oomph in my pumph. How about you, mate? If you enjoyed this video, I think you're going to like this one, and that's where I went to the Purbex and did that other watercolour. If you've not watched that already, I would highly recommend that because the views are stunning. Thanks, I'll see you next week. Mwah. Oh great, I didn't realise I had that on when I was filming that bit. Well, this is what I used to film the point of view so you can actually see what I'm doing when I'm painting. Now you know.